All right, so we're going to start on the navbar, and there's going to be quite a bit of code in this navbar component. There's going to be a lot of HTML, and then we're going to be adding authentication. We're going to show the number of messages and the little notifications number. So it's going to add up through time. And even in this video, we're going to add a lot of HTML. Now, since I know a lot of you guys don't like to copy a bunch of HTML or a bunch of code and then paste it and change a bunch of stuff, I've actually included a file with this section called navbar.jsx, and it's the code up to the end of this video. So if you want, you can grab the code from there. If not, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what you need to copy from the theme files. All right, now before we do any of that, let's first create our component file. And the components folder I'm going to put in the root. So we're going to create a folder called components. And you might see components in the app folder sometimes. Some people do that. But I like to keep the app folder basically just all my page components. So I look at it as the old pages directory. Now, you can do it how you want, but I like to keep everything outside of that that's not a page component. So let's create a new file in the components folder called navbar.jsx. And again, the attached file includes the complete code for this section if you do just want to grab that. But we're going to go ahead and build this out. So let's say RAFCE, and I'll just save this for now, and then we'll import it into the layout. So app layout, because obviously we want this on every page. So let's import the navbar, and then let's come down here. I'm actually going to make this div around the children here. Let's make that a main tag, and then right above that we'll put our navbar component. Okay, so you should just see navbar on the screen. Now, as far as the theme files, I'm going to open those up in Sublime Text, which is this. Okay, so these are all the theme files. Again, you can get this from, I think it was the first video of this section, or just go to the GitHub repo. And then we'll open the index.html, and we want to get everything, we want the nav tag and everything in it. So it's quite a bit. So we'll go from the top down to the ending tag, which is right here. So I'm going to just copy all that. And then we're going to paste that in. We can close the layout. We're going to paste that in here, the return. Let's put some parentheses and then paste all that in. Now, as soon as I do that, I'm going to get an error, and that's because I do have some comments in here, some regular HTML style comments, and that's messing things up. Now, you can delete these if you want, but like I said, it's a lot of HTML. It's a lot of, well, I should say JSX. So I do want to keep the comments. So I'm just going to do Command or Control / to add a JSX comment around it. Okay, so I'm just going to go through, and anything you see, any comments you see, just comment out the comments, basically. So this right here, right side menu logged in, right side menu logged out, desktop menu, what else we got here, mobile menu, let's close that up. Yeah, so that should be all the comments. Oh, looks like I missed something. I think it was the logo, yeah. Oh, looks like I'm missing another one. Let's see, right here. Okay, so all the comments are commented out, and now we can see the navbar. The logo isn't going to show yet, obviously, because we haven't brought that in. Now, if you open up your client console, you're going to see some warnings here, and that's because JSX differs from HTML in a few ways. So, of course, we need to change all of our classes to class name, right? But also, if you look here, it says tab index. Did you mean tab index in camel case? So we have to change that. And then some of the SVG attributes have hyphens, such as this right here, stroke dash width. So we need to change those to camel case as well. And again, that file that's attached has these changes already. But let's go ahead and do the classes first. Highlight the first one and then do a Command or Control + Shift + L. And that will select all of them, and then we can change them all to class name. All right, now we want to go through, let's do the tab indexes. So we can just search for tab index, right? I think there's 4 of these. So I'm just going to select the first one. And again, just do a Command Shift L and then do tab with an uppercase I because it should be camel case. So that will get rid of that warning, right? But now we still have the SVG elements like stroke width. So let's search for SVG. And then right here, stroke width, we're going to take the hyphen out like that. And then here as well, the line cap, we want to do it like that. Line join, like that. Let's go to the next SVG. And same thing, stroke width, uppercase W, and the line cap and line join, like that. And I think we should be good. So let's save that, reload, and the only errors we should see are the image errors because obviously we don't have those yet. Now we are going to have to bring those images over. So what I'm going to do is open up my theme files. Okay, so this is the underscore theme files, and you'll have a folder called images, and you have 4 just regular site images, and then a properties folder that has a bunch of the property images. Actually, we don't need that copy. All right, now the way we're going to do this is ultimately the property images are going to be stored in Cloudinary, but that's not till later. So what I want to do with these property images before we deal with Cloudinary is put them in the public folder so they're publicly accessible. So in public, let's create a folder called images, and then let's bring that properties folder into public images. Okay, and we'll deal with those later. Now, the rest of these site images, like the logos, the pin, and the profile, I want to import those directly into our components where we're using them. So I'm going to create an images folder in assets. So in the root and then assets, let's create images. And then we're going to bring those 4 images into that assets images folder. Okay, so now let's get the logo and the profile placeholder image displayed. Now to do that, we need to do a couple things. First, we need to import the image component from Next.js, and this allows us, it works like an image tag, but it allows us to further optimize the images. So that's going to be from next/image. Okay, and then we want to bring in the 2 images. So let's say import logo from, and that's going to be at, which is basically the root of our project, and then assets, and then images, and then it's logo. We want the white one, so logo-white.png. And then we can copy that down, and we also want to bring in profile PNG. And let's call this variable profile default. Okay, because basically if they don't have a Google image, a Google profile image, then this will show. Now, let's go to where the logo is being displayed, which is right here, and let's change the image tag to an image component, and then the source, we can change that. That's going to be logo. So if I save that, now we can see our logo. And just to show you what the navbar looks like when it's bigger, so we can see all of our links, our button, and so on, we're going to make this drop down and this profile drop down function in the next video. But I just want to handle the profile image next. So if we go down to the other image tag, because there's 2 of them, which is, let's see, where is it? Let's just search for it. So search for IMG. So right here, we're going to change that to an image component, and then the source, we're going to change that to profile default. And now you should see this image for that. All right, and if I reload, we're not going to see any of those errors, okay, because now we have the actual images. So we're going to stop here, and in the next video, we'll go ahead and make these drop downs work, because we're going to have to add, we're going to make this a client component and add in some state so that we can track whether the drop downs are open or not.